Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Mental Health and Wellness, and today I have a story for you. And the story is going to be about a 40-year-old mother. Her name is Alicia Stone, and Alicia was a NYPD detective. She had been on the force for about 13 years, and she was married and she had 3 children. Okay, now this story is really sad because for the fact that Alicia went to Colombia to get a BBL, and a week later she passed. Now, she did talk to her husband the day after the surgery, and she said everything was fine, but something happened and she passed. Now, this BBL thing is really, it's like an epidemic. A lot of women are getting it, all different ages. Um, it's really getting out of hand. And um, the sad thing about it is that when a person makes up their mind that they really want to do it, there's no way you can talk them out of doing it. Because a lot of people were saying that, well, her husband, maybe, he wanted her to get it. Maybe he didn't want her to get it. Maybe he was just being supportive. Well, she was going to do what she wanted to do. She was a detective. She had her own money. I'm sure she, pretty much made her own decisions. So no matter what he said, she was going to do what she wanted to do, whether he liked it or not. So he was probably just being supportive. And that's probably all he could do. So I think that with these BBLs, I think that a lot of these women, they don't do their research. If you must get a BBL, I think it's better for you to get it here in the United States instead of going to a different country like Colombia or Mexico. A lot of times when they have an ad that they do BBLs in these different countries, you don't know if they're certified or not. They can put in the ad that they are certified, but you don't really know if they're certified or not. You don't know who's working on you. So I think that it's really important, for women to start working on the inside. Work on your self-acceptance. Work on your low self-esteem. Work on your self-love. I think that it needs to start there with those 3 things. Now, just for the fact that she was married and she had 3 children and she was 40 years old, it kind of tells me that, because she wasn't in her 20s, but it kind of tells me that she was just really unhappy with her body. And maybe she wanted to give herself a treat. She probably figured, well, I'm 40, I deserve this now, But you have to know that anytime you're going to go off to another country to go under the knife is super risky. And, sadly to say, she ended up losing her life. I would rather pay a lot more money and get a major surgery done here in the United States than pay less money and go to a different country and end up dead. I'm starting to hear more stories about women going to different countries and getting these BBLs. I'm starting to hear more stories about them dying from getting the BBL, because she had a BBL and she had a liposuction. And what caused her death was, they said it was an unspecified cardio arrest. That's what caused her death. Now, Another thing too is that she could have done it the old-fashioned way, where she would exercise, she would go on a really strict diet. Yeah, it might take a long time. That could take 2 or 3 years or longer. But wouldn't it be better to just take your time and do that? Do it the old-fashioned way, go to the gym, whatever it is, exercise at home. You don't have to go to the gym. You could just exercise at home, you know. But change your diet. Go on a real strict diet. And even if it took 2 or 3 years, she's only 40 years old. So let's just say if she did it for 3 years, and she would be 43. That's still young. I mean, it's not like 23, like a 23-year-old. Now, the older a person gets, the harder it is on your body to be having these surgeries. The older you get, the harder it is on your body to recover from these surgeries. Now, that's just like, a 20-year-old's body is much stronger than a 40-year-old body. Just like a 40-year-old's body is much stronger than a 60-year-old body. So you kind of got to think of it that way. Okay. Now, I'm not going to, spend too much time on this video, but I just wanted to let you guys know, for the people out there that's thinking about getting a BBL, I think you should think twice about it. In my opinion, I don't think you should do it. I think I think you should just do it the old-fashioned way if you want to lose weight. It wasn't meant for everybody to walk around with a big butt. It wasn't meant for everybody to walk around with a big butt. So I think that it's better for you to start on the inside. Just start on the inside with the self-love, with the self-acceptance. If you have low self-esteem, making sure that your self-esteem is going to be high. You want to have high self-esteem. You don't want to have low self-esteem. You want to have high self-esteem. And you can make it high. But it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. Just like I was saying before with the exercising. I said that could take maybe 2 or 3 years before you would be where you want to be. And same thing with the inside. Work on your inside. And that can take a long time too, working on the inside. But everything starts in the inside. If you get that inside right, you can get that outside right, and you don't even have to go up under the knife. You don't have to go up under the knife. Once you get that inside right, you don't have to go up under the knife. And as I said before, it wasn't meant for every female to walk around with a big butt. It wasn't meant for that to be. And a lot of women are dying because they see a certain image on TV and they want to be like that. They want to be like that. And I saw a picture of Alicia, and Alicia was beautiful. She was already beautiful. But she had to believe that she was beautiful. And that's why I said the work is on the inside. Okay, if you like my video, I would love for you to subscribe, share, like, and leave me a comment. What do you think about all these women getting these BBLs? And do you think the BBL epidemic is out of control? What do you think about this mother who was 40 years old and had 3 kids and a husband and went and got a BBL and a liposuction? What do you think about that? All right, I'll see you in my next video.